What do podcast tool Riverside and book summary service Shortform have in common? Well, they're both companies that Liz accidentally burned bridges with in spectacular fashion during her early sponsorship days. The mistakes were completely her fault, but here's the twist. These disasters became her greatest teachers and led directly to her sponsorship success today. Sometimes you need to break a few eggs to make the omelet. So let's hear the tea from Liz. All right, Liz, you've got some crazy horror stories of brand deals gone bad, and you've got a dish because some of these sound pretty terrible. So hit me with it.
Okay, they weren't okay. What made them terrible was me. Let me just preface that I made these sponsorship deals terrible. It was me and not having the book. This book had not been published yet. Let me just preface it with that. It was when I was first starting. So, when you're first starting, you don't really know what you're doing. So someone approaches you and they're like, we'll give you $100. And I'm like, how about 500? You go back and forth. You kind of have a little more like, I got nothing to lose. I've never done one of these. And a lot of companies will stay with emails. And I'm thinking, this is fine. How could you misinterpret an email? That seems hard. No, I did it multiple times. And the first one was with the software we're currently recording, Riverside. And I was so excited to partner with them. And I got too ahead of myself. And we had gone back and forth on a video idea. And I thought, they said yes. And I was like, cool. So I went and filmed it. I didn't give them a script. I didn't give them anything. I just fully went like crazy and was like, I'm going to film it. I got too excited. I filmed it. I sent it to them. They're like, that's not what we wanted. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I already got an editor to edit it. Like I've already sunk all this money in. And I thought maybe I should cancel the sponsorship. And so then I kind of emailed back. I'm like, maybe we should stop. And this was like years ago. And then it was just a disaster. And I felt so bad. And then we ended up posting what I ended up filming, which didn't make either of us feel good because I know they didn't like it because they told me they didn't like it. So it was a big lesson learned of always send the script before you touch a camera because there's so much effort that goes into once you film it. So that was a big one that I'm like, dang, if I could do one redo, that would be the one. Because that was the lesson. I needed to learn that lesson. Every other sponsorship after that was great.
So did you just stick your head in the sand after that video was posted and they paid you and you're like, okay, I'm never going to talk to this brand again because I'm so embarrassed? Or like, what happened?
I was so embarrassed. Because I'm just like, I could tell that I really want like people to feel good when they work with me. And I was so embarrassed that they didn't. And then I'm hoping that this isn't going to be like this big company. And turns out they are an amazing company and they grew even bigger. And I'm like, great. And so I'm haunted every time I go on a podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that one brand deal that went wrong. So I want a redo. So I'm a little mortified on that one. The other one I'm still mortified on was another brand that I was so excited was Shortform. I don't know if you've heard of Shortform.
Mm-hmm. They summarize books, right?
Yeah, it's like book summaries, but they're really intense summaries. They're like not even summaries, they're super good. And I was so excited to work with this brand.
Hey, just a quick heads up. My in-person event, Sponsor Games, is happening March 15th to the 18th, 2026 in San Antonio, Texas. It's the only event in the world where you can practice your sponsorship pitch, do real-time negotiation role play, connect with other creators landing 4- and 5-figure brand deals, and potentially win our cash grand prize. Here's what Doc Williams had to say about where his business was at before attending Sponsor Games.
I just felt defeated. I didn't know how to talk to brands confidently. I hadn't closed any long-term deal and I felt disillusioned. I was like, I don't think I can really make money on sponsors, but if I can win the games, I can make money off of that. And then going out, I was like, this feels sustainable. This feels like I can actually do this with my business long-term.
Any big wins that you can share after the event?
I mean, pretty much all my deals. But afterwards, I was like, we've done multiple 15K deals. And friends of mine, when I told them about like, you just have to do this. My friend, he's always complaining, no one hits him up, blah, 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 blah. He'd never made more than $500 from a sponsor. I was like, just do this method. I was like, read this. And he closed him at 35K for 6 events. He's a local creator in a small town. And it was just because of that one thing in the bio.
So if you want to have the same transformation that Doc and his friend had, go to sponsorgames.com to grab your ticket. We're capping it at 75 creators this year. And actually, I forgot to tell you the craziest part. Every single meal is catered. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. We're basically blowing a huge chunk of the budget on amazing food. So what are you even waiting for? Go to sponsorgames.com to grab your spot.
Again, this is why you get on the call, because we went back and forth and I had asked them 2 questions. They said yes to 1. So I asked if they wanted to sponsor a video for like, I think it was like $500 or something. And they said yes, but they were saying yes to a different question because I had too much going on in that email. And so I filled this. I send them an invoice and they're like, we never agreed to do that. And I'm pretty sure I went on Twitter and I'm like, I'm done. I go back through the email and I realize it was me. I totally misread it. So I'm like mortified that I sent this. I had to void the invoice. Here I'm thinking I'm getting $500. No, I just did a bunch of work for free. It's completely my fault. I feel terrible. I felt like I didn't completely burn the bridge, but that one is another one I want to redo because it's just so sad. And that was when I think I messaged you on Twitter at some point because I went on Twitter X and I was complaining. I'm like, someone needs to save me from these sponsors because I am fumbling. And it was like 2 bad in a row. And that's when I was like, I took a break. We read the book. That's when your book came out.
Wow. That is a resounding testimonial of why you need to read the book, I guess. Maybe after this podcast episode comes out, you can email it to both Riverside and Shortform and be like, look, I'm very conciliatory here. Like, this was all on me, but I really would love a chance to redeem myself.
Yeah, and they were, I mean, those are really good companies that I wanted to associate myself with. And like, I thought it was going to be so good. So I need a redo.
What gave you the confidence to just like keep going and see like, okay, like it wasn't, not all sponsors are going to be like this. Because actually a lot of creators, they have 1 or 2 really sour experiences like you did, and they just swear them off forever. They're like, okay, sponsorships are not for me. I'm going to make money elsewhere. AdSense, my digital products, like consulting, whatever. Like, I don't want to touch sponsorships. Like, what gave you the desire to keep trying?
Yeah, I would say so I stopped for a while. I think I gave a 6 month to a year break. I think I just swore 'em off, like you said. Like, I just was done. I'm frustrated. I'm not communicating right. So I started focusing on other parts of the business. And then I came back after I grew so I doubled my subscriber count. And I'm like, okay, now I feel very comfortable in my brand. I know my presence. I'm very comfortable on camera. I kind of know what the direction of the channel. Let me go back. And then I had a really positive experience with a couple of them. So I started out with Scribe, and they were wanting me. Like, it was very clear that they wanted a person who was like a dedicated user of the software. So it felt really good. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I want. I don't want to be just a number, because I've had sponsors come in and go, I just want to talk over email. Like, we're just going to communicate over email. I'm like, what? You don't want to meet me? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, so then I'm thinking, okay, it's a volume game for some people, which I get. But for me, I'm looking for long-term partners. I want to be as invested in their company that they are in me. So like, I want to see their company succeed, right? I don't want just like $500 or $1,000. Like, I want to actually see their company in like Forbes top software products. So I put a lot of effort in. So I want that reciprocated. But yeah, it's easy to get discouraged, especially when you have a couple burn you in the beginning, or not even burn you, but like you fumble them and you're going, oh, that's not for me. But it's like, you just got to learn from your mistakes and then keep going and then get slowly better over time and then find what works for you and then continue.
One common theme that I'm hearing amongst the positive sponsorships since reading the book, number one, your best one, you reached out to them, not they reached out to you. Actually, this is an important insight, which is that like, yeah, if like all you're doing is responding to inbound, like, yes, no, is this a good fit? Yes, no. It's easy to feel like, again, you're just another number on a spreadsheet. Like, okay, we're going to work with 20 creators and like, oh, it's too much money. Fine, we'll delete that row, this type of idea. When you feel the confidence in your own brand and what you can actually do for these sponsors, and you're the one leading the pitch and saying, hey, here's what I can do for you. Yeah, it might be a longer sales cycle, of you trying to convince them that this is the right thing, but ultimately the deal will probably work out way better in the end.
Yeah, especially if you do sponsorships with people or brands that you currently use a lot, like it's a no-brainer. It's like, I'm using that all the time. So it's very easy for you to talk about it and film about it. So I think that's going to be my new strategy, is I'm only going to talk about brands and things that I currently use.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to require you to do a little bit more outbound then, huh?
I got to get on it. I have a CRM, it's like in Notion. I have a sponsorship board, and I've got like prospecting, and I've got invoice when they're in progress, when they're invoicing, when they're done, and then I link them to the videos. So I'm stepping it up. I've got a Notion board now, so.
That's good. Well, you know what? Since you have the book, you can get As a bonus, my Notion sponsorship tracker template.
Oh,
It has
yeah,
a bunch
see?
of built-in formulas for that. So you can even up level it. You got to buy the book to get it.
I think you sent me this one, actually.
I did.
This is a limited edition signed copy, guys.
I think it is. Yeah. That's
Yeah, look
signed.
at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Well, Liz, super excited for all your sponsorship success in the future. Now, if you want to hear the story about how Liz revealed to her colleagues at Intel that she was a YouTuber, make sure to check out this episode right here.